But this unwritten rule did not keep blacks from playing the game. And by 1910, black baseball teams were fielded in cities throughout the East, Southeast, and Midwest in the form of the Negro Leagues. Walter Buck Leonard played first base for the Homestead Grays of the Negro National League in the 1930s and 40s. The Grays were the most feared team in Negro baseball, the Yankees of the black leagues, and Buck and his teammate Josh Gibson were called the Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth of black baseball. They were also the two highest paid players in the Negro Leagues. Although neither ever had the opportunity to play in the majors, their contribution to the game was recognized in 1972 with their election to the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. At his home in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, Buck talked about the Homestead Grays and black baseball before the integration of the white leagues.
It was organized in 1910, and that they had about 4 or 5 teams around, and they used to travel on automobiles when they could get automobiles, and most of the games was played in nearby towns here. It wasn't hopping around like they do now, or like they did. And we would have to pick up players where we could and develop them. Where the major league, they got farm teams, they develop them down on the farm, and when they come to the major, they are ready to play. We played the 6 teams in the Negro National League. They played the 6 teams in the Negro American League until September the 15th. Then we started with the Black World Series.
Was it a good money-making venture?
It was so-so.
So-so.
So-so. All of us had to go to work in the winter. Now, one time, the Negro National League and the Negro American League separated. They got so they couldn't agree on the Black World Series. And for a few years, we did not play the World Series. When the season was over, September the 15th, the Negro American League would have their first half and second half playoff, and we would have ours, and that was the end. And then we would start the barnstorming with the major leaguers. And we could make more money barnstorming with the major leaguers than we could playing the Black World Series. That was one of the reasons why we stopped playing the Black World Series, because it didn't make much money. But playing the Major League All-Stars, why, it was just fantastic.
When the white All-Stars met the black All-Stars, who usually won?
Well, they won some and we won some. I can't say just who won most of them. I can't say that, but I do know that it was a pretty good ball. It was a good baseball game because they had the best that they could find, could get to go with them on the barnstorming, and the blacks had the best that they could get to go. And we always could get a lot to go because it was more money than we were usually making.
There's a great amount of talent on these black teams. How many of those players do you think were capable and could have made it playing in the white leagues?
We used to go out to see the major leagues play, and we used to judge from how they played, just and compare that with how we were playing. And we thought that some of us could have probably made it in the major league. And we would have liked to have a trial anyway, even if we couldn't make it. We would have liked to try it out.
In 1945, Brooklyn Dodgers president Branch Rickey, feeling that the major leagues should no longer exclude black players from the game, launched a quiet talent search for the right man to pioneer the integration of baseball. He settled on a superb young athlete, Jackie Robinson. Buck Leonard remembers playing against Jackie in 1945.
Jackie had been going to college, in California, and he came in 1945. He came out east, the Kansas City Monarchs. We had a few games with Kansas City Monarchs around in Washington, Philadelphia, and New York. And we asked one of the Kansas City ball players, who's that old big boy you got playing shortstop? That's Jackie Robinson. You never heard talking to Jackie Robinson? I said, we thought he was a football player. Yes, but he's a baseball player too, so he was a shortstop, see. So we said, well, we'll see what can he do with a curveball. That's usually what sends a lot of ball players back home, the curveball. Well, he did that. He hit it pretty good, see, and he was fast, big, and everything like that. Had a good arm. So he made a good showing that day in Washington and in Philadelphia and New York. He played good shortstop and hit the ball pretty good. But we didn't know how he would stand up over the season, see. But in those few games, he looked good. Then when we went down to Caracas in Venezuela in 1945, he had been selected to go with us down there in November to play winter baseball. And Branch Rickey came to the Woodside Hotel in New York and said he wanted to speak to Jackie Robinson. He took Jackie around the corner, talked to him. Jackie came back. We asked him, what did he say? He said he was talking on some business. So what business? And he said he just talked to me about some business. Now what we thought was that Branch Rickey was going to get Jackie to organize a black team and put the black team in Brooklyn and then put the black team in the Negro National League. That's what we thought. And then it came out in the paper around about sometime in December that it came out in the paper down in Caracas, that he had been signed by Branch Rickey to be the first black to get him going to organized baseball, and he would be sent to Montreal. Then we asked him again. He said, yeah, that's what they were talking about. Then after it came out in the paper, we asked Jackie. He said, yeah, that's what he was supposed to do. So we asked him, say, how you think he's going to take playing with them white boys? He said, well, I played with him out in California, saying it won't make any difference, which we understood that part of it, see. Now, that's the reason why we think that he was the right selection. First thing, he was big, 6 feet, maybe one. He weighed about near 200 pounds. He was fast, and he could pretty fair hitter, good arm, and he was intelligent. And we felt like all of that would be on his side, and which it was. And we feel like that he